Real Madrid have stopped that losing run against Barcelona. They lost all 4 Clásicos against them last season, and now they have set things straight, and Xabi Alonso has added his name to the win list for debut Clásico coaching feats. Real Madrid 5 points clear of Barcelona now at the top of the table after 10 rounds played. Lots to discuss in this game. Kylian Mbappe and Jude Bellingham both on the score sheet and both doing what they needed to do for their sides today. What's the overriding feeling from you as we do welcome in Luis Garcia as well? In fact, go on, Craig.
Yeah, Luis is in place.
He's in place.
Ready.
We've got you in a minute, Luis. Give me your overriding thoughts, Craig.
He's dropped Sidlow. I think that graphic told a great story. Real Madrid did much more with less possession, were much more of a threat with less possession, and defended much better than they had in the Madrid derby and some of the games recently. Just over 30% of the ball. And I think most of that was probably the second half, where it did go towards Barcelona as Real Madrid dropped off a little bit. First half was probably a little bit more equal. But I thought they were always the bigger threat. I thought they exposed the high line, particularly in the first half. There's a couple of very close offsides. I thought they were very strong in the middle of the park. I think Militao mastered the back four really well. And Barca grew into the game. A lot of possessions, but how many big saves did Thibaut Courtois have to make? So, you know, we could debate the penalty that Mbappe missed and the Eric Garcia hand and the proximity. But I think Real Madrid were the better side. They were the better organised. They were the bigger threat. They created more chances with much less of the ball, and I think deserved the 3 points.
I have no issue in telling you that this first 45 minutes by Real Madrid were the best 45 minutes that they played under Xabi Alonso. The totality of the game on Real Madrid in the first 45 minutes was really impressive. Now, we know full well what Kylian Mbappe can do. We saw Vinny Jr. very active, Jude Bellingham active as well. He's the one that assists for the goal by Kylian Mbappe. But what was most impressive, and why I say it was the best performance that we have seen from Real Madrid under Xabi Alonso in those 45 minutes, is the intensity with which they pressed the ball. They did not perhaps win the first challenge, but the second challenge, you have Tchouaméni flying and cleaning somebody out. You have Camavinga flying and cleaning somebody out. And if they miss it, then here comes Fede Valverde and does the same thing, or Militao does the same thing. And they managed to get on top of Barcelona in attacking positions. And while Barcelona may have had a lot of the ball, they were not exactly dangerous with that possession, certainly in the first half. And what we saw was the potential of what Real Madrid can do and can be when they're all together working defensively, when they're all pressing the ball, when Vini is engaged defensively, when Mbappe is engaged defensively, and then, of course, once they're able to regain possession in high areas and in good areas, that's when you can expose Barcelona defensively, and they did that for the Kylian Mbappe goal. I thought it was an impressive performance from Real Madrid, certainly in the first half. The second half, the dynamics of the game changed naturally, but the first half of Real Madrid today, again, was the best first 45 minutes that we have seen of Real Madrid under Xabi Alonso.
We've brought somebody else onto the coverage. We wanted to balance things out a bit with an ex-Barcelona player and an ex-Real Madrid player. Steve McManaman joining us now with Luis Garcia. Steve, let me start with you then. Advantage Real Madrid, worthy winners today for you?
Yes, I think so. Listening to Ali and Craig, I go along with what they said. I thought they were impressive in the first half. I thought they had a plan, didn't they, that whenever they lost the ball, they got the 11 players behind the ball. I was impressed with Vinny Jr. and Kylian Mbappe. They always looked dangerous, didn't they, on the counter-attack, and particularly using Kylian's pace. I thought they dropped off the level in the second half slightly, and they just used counter-attacks just to make the chances. But I thought they were the better team. I didn't think it was a penalty, the Kylian Mbappe penalty. But I thought Real Madrid just edged it. And I think without Lewandowski, without Rafinha, with that little bit of magic, I think Real Madrid were probably worthy winners today.
Fair for you, Luis?
No, I totally agree. I think we all seen the same game. The first 45, I think the Real Madrid look a lot more dangerous. I think that once again, Xavi, and we've been talking about what Xavi could bring to this Real Madrid side, and that is structure. We saw a very solid Real Madrid, and not giving much to Barcelona, not leaving spaces for the players who can be dangerous on the wide areas, and even those links in between the lines that they like to do, or passes to try to arrive to the best position near the area. And again, he got it right in the middle of the park. There was a lot of concerns if Mastantuono or Dagule were going to be involved, who was the one who has to be playing near Tchouaméni. And Camavinga, I think it was really, really important today to give it that strength, that intensity, that energy that you need to play against this Barcelona side in the middle. And in the end, when you are ahead, when you play against Real Madrid and they get ahead, it's very difficult to play against, because you have to commit players forward, you leave space at the back, and then you are going to be in trouble. So Barcelona didn't have enough creativity up front. They are missing important players. We talked about them. And today it was shown that when Lewandowski is not there, when Rafinha is not there, when Lamine Yamal, that I think that didn't show up today much as we've seen it before. Barcelona struggled so much to create chances.
Well, the issue with Lamine Yamal is that if you're going to run your mouth before the game and you become the story before the game, then all the attention is going to be on you on the game and during the match, and then that demands a big-time performance in a big-time match. And we did not have a big-time performance from Lamine Yamal. And so he is this kid that the smile and the bleach blonde hair, and now he's crowning himself, and that attracts attention to himself. Well, here we are. We're paying attention. And you know who else is paying attention? Real Madrid. And some of the reactions that we saw at the end of the match, where you see Vini, who I'm not going to defend, I'm just reporting facts here, or reporting the news, he's doing one of these to Lamine Yamal and to Barcelona. You're yapping, you're talking, right? You are attracting attention to yourself if you're Lamine. You're highlighting yourself. You're bringing yourself into the middle of the conversation, and then the performance doesn't quite back it up. Then you're exposed. And this is the reality of playing professional football at the highest level. I think Lamine Yamal is an outstanding talent. I've said it 1 time, 3 times, 10 times, 20 times that he should have won the Ballon d'Or. And yet, I don't like the whole idea of I'm going to make this about my comments, I'm going to make this about my behavior, I'm going to make this about crowning myself, and then you don't back it up with a performance. The performance today of Lamine Yamal was on the fringes of the game, and Barcelona needed him to be in the middle of everything that was productive in the attack. That was not the case.
Because if the headlines were on Lamine Yamal before the game, they're going to be on Vinny Jr. after the game, Craig, with what we've seen today at the end of the game when he has got involved in the drama once again. We were just talking pre-match about the maturity and that maybe he's taking steps towards that. He didn't show the best of himself towards the end.
It's hard to stomach as a player when you don't want to be coming off in a big game. But sometimes, and it's difficult as a player, sometimes you can't see the bigger picture. The bigger picture was fresh legs. Brahim Diaz was already on, and Mbappe was still on. So when he's bringing Rodrigo on, he's not going to bring Rodrigo on for a midfielder. He's not going to weaken that department, and they're trying to see the game out. So you have to understand that as a player. He struggles to do that. That's bad enough. But you take yourself to the bench and you calm down. You do not walk down the tunnel when there is a Clasico on against your biggest rivals. Yes, he came back out, but Xabi Alonso did not look best pleased about A, his antics, and B, disappearing down the tunnel. And this is something he has to work with, to fight, is these emotions in the big moment and to see the bigger picture, which from his team's perspective and his manager's perspective was to get fresh legs on. He was already bulking the midfield up at this point. And I don't think this player will ever change from this type of behaviour, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and if we're expecting him to change, that's just not going to be the case. All I would tell you is that at some point, Vinny Jr. has to understand that while he is important to the team, he doesn't win the game by himself. This is about a team performance and a team result. And at that point, his team was winning. And while you may be disappointed that you're taken off, you go and sit down and respect your teammates. Respect the performance out in the field. Respect those that are coming on the field. That is far more important than you're upset and you want to show the world that you're upset.
It's like he's helped his team today. I think it's Maka and Luis still with us. He's helped his team today, Maka, but he's not helped himself again.
No, and Kay, listen to the boys. I think we all concur. You know, 4 of us have played the game at the highest level. it was histrionics. There was no need for it. You're 2-1 up. As Craig rightly said, there's a bigger picture. You're getting fresh legs on. Vinny comes off and Rodrigo goes on, who's an equal to him. Of course, Vinny's been chosen this time, but Rodrigo's a fine player in himself. So the fact that he's going to warrant a load of headlines on a night when they've won the game, you know, and the fact that you saw Xabi Alonso on the side of the pitch just completely ignore him and almost walk away from him, and rightly so. It's ridiculous. There's 16, 17 players needed at a game, and then he walks off down the tunnel, gets told to come back, sits on the bench, and then wants to argue with everybody after the end of the game. As you know, it drives me crazy. You know, it's not about you. It's about the team. It's about the collective. It's about winning. It's about going 5 points clear. It's about beating Barcelona after they beat you 4 times last year. It's Xabi Alonso's first game. That's what you should be talking about. You shouldn't be talking about the reaction of somebody getting substituted after nigh on 75 minutes. You know, it wasn't after 10 minutes. It was near the end of the game where they needed fresh legs. So it's you know, the fact that we're talking about it drives me mad. It really does. It's not about him. It's about the collective, and it should never do that again.
Yeah, and yet here we are, Luis. What did you make of it all?
Yeah.
No, again, I think that Magallanes expressed it very well. It's a lack of respect, not only for the manager, but also to the teammate that is going in, because Rodrigo could have looked at him and say, what do you think, that you are better than me, or you are better than anyone else? And that's the problem. And I mentioned before the game that I thought that Vinicius Junior was maturing. There was understanding that it's not about complaining, it's about what you can do. And actually, I think he did a fantastic job. We saw him beating players, we saw him being dangerous. That's what we want from Vini Junior. But in the moment he thought that the spotlight wasn't on him, that it was on someone else, then start making this drama about me being out of the game. Why me? Why always me? And then coming on and then having a fight with the teammates, something that we passed that already, and we are a little bit bored to talk about it, because again, like Maka said, it's not about you, it's about winning, and it's about winning as a team. And Xabi Alonso did a fantastic job, did what he has to do, that he thought that he was to win the game. He won the game. Probably it would have been Maga. If it's a draw for Barcelona, then we'll have this talk for a long time. But I think that Real Madrid did it in a good way. They won it. Xabi Alonso won his first El Clasico, and I'm glad that we can talk about that and not about a little kid complaining about not being involved in the last 15 minutes of the game.